Here's a list of traits of feeders. They're usually small. They usually want to control how and when you do things. They usually show up out of nowhere and try to convince you that you're friends. They cross boundaries consistently. If they're people that were in your life previously and they show up after you and then pretend that they don't know you and then try to control, specifically, here's one thing. So, people with weed, okay? They can have as much weed as they want, but they'll only share with you if they think it's controlling your mind. And if they can't control your mind, then they'll start to cut you off of weed. Um, Also, people that you smoke with that you get like really hungry with right after, like your body is trying to tell you it's uncomfortable. You don't need to eat all that food. Other traits of feeders. They'll do rituals like dressing in the same outfits at certain times of the year in order to make you think that you're under some sort of magic influence. They usually have problems with alcohol that they blame on other people. So if you're not an alcoholic on your own, but you use a lot of a certain substance around one person, there's a good chance they're going to end up being a feeder. Um, because if you're not interested in doing a substance on your own, then um, then you're not interested in doing it. If you feel attached to somebody because they can offer a certain type of energetic influence and they convince you that you can't get that anywhere, then you probably either really don't like it or they don't actually have that to offer and they're trying to drain you of your energy. Feeders, a lot of the times, are short, like shorter than 5'5". And not saying all short people are feeders, but I'm saying a lot of feeders are shorter and will do weird rituals and say things around you to make you feel smaller, even going so far as to reduce your age or to reduce your status. Feeders live in their own worlds that they have made up themselves, and they are not willing nor interested nor able to allow you to define yourself in that world. Um, Stay away from them. They're vampires that want to use your energy. Um, Speeders often will use words like shapeshift. They will act like they're your parent to induce a sense of need around you. Um, Feeders are often narcissists who um, get under your skin, convincing you that what they want for you is an actual need. They usually will interrupt your personal sexual experiences to have some sort of say over what you're doing and who you're doing it with. Feeders oftentimes cannot have their own children and often seek to adopt or go through foster care to get children of their own. This is why we see so much hoarding and sexual abuse in the foster care system. So another thing about feeders is once they find out that like you like or need a certain substance, they will try to use that substance in order to control you. And this can even be things as simple as what you're wearing. A lot of times they'll create stories around what you have on. So for example, um, I've got stuff out of the donations, right? And maybe it's the same style or something that I thought I asked for like a long time ago. So there's a voice that will be on repeat in my head that says, you wore that before, or you got that from me, or you're going to leave that for me, because they're incapable. Let me say that again. They are incapable of generating their own energy. Stay away from these people. The best ways that you can guard yourself from people like this are don't share your stuff. Do not, period. Don't share your clothes with them at all. Don't let them touch your stuff, especially your technology. Handle your own phones. Do not allow them near your body at all. Call them out on their behavior the second that you see it, the second that you notice it. So, for example, there was one standing in front of me yesterday, and she stood there for about 5 minutes facing away from me, directly in front of me, like parallel to my body. There were copious amounts of room in the space where we were sharing to be. And when I called this person out on their behavior, they stood there, no expression, and said, I'm not doing anything. Then used my anger at them trying to control the room to implement fear that I was going to be removed from the building because they can't stand their own behavior. You have to understand this. And here's another thing about feeders. They will always fish you for personal information. They will compare you to other people, and then they will try to get you to tell your story as a means to get their belongings. So there are people. So here's the thing. If you are surrounded by them, if there's no other place for you to be and you are otherwise safe, comfortable, and well provided for and taken care of, and like you haven't been physically hurt and you're surrounded by these people, what you need to do is, it's simple. So if you need a cigarette, ask everyone around them first. Don't ever ask them. If you know for a fact that that person is just going to use you for information, don't ask them. If you are at a place where you have already been asking this person for stuff and you realize that, and I'm talking like cigarettes and weed. This is really all I mean. I'm not saying stuff. Like that kind of stuff you can get from donations and through your own money. What I mean is, let's say like right now I don't have much money, okay? I'm getting my food stamps in the next week, and I have enough to provide for myself once I get my food stamps. However, right now I don't have enough money for cigarettes, and I have cancer, and so I need weed, right? So most normal people will just be like, here you go, have one. And you don't need to have a discussion with them. You can walk away and spend your own time. That's a normal person in your relationship with them. You don't have to just give people free information. You don't have to give them any information. So if they're fishing you for information while they're giving you free stuff, start just taking the stuff. If they absolutely require you to give them information and you're already in an exchange and they're energetically pressuring you, first, make stuff up. Just make stuff up. When they've gotten to a place where you are back in control of your own self and they don't know anything about you, if you actually need that thing right then and there, say like there's a person with like a pair of socks and you are barefoot, and that person, in order to give you the pair of socks, like there's no other socks around, that person has clean, dry socks, and they're asking questions about yourself, make something up, and then get the clean, dry socks, and then cut that person out of your life. The next person, let's say, then the next person gives you a pair of shoes. Okay, so now you have socks and shoes and you're totally taken care of. Things like cigarettes and medication. If your pharmaceutical company, your doctor, your dealer, or a random guy that you happen to accidentally ask for a smoke on the street begins to play an exchange with you, or you have to give them an energetic expression in order to receive something that they are telling you as a gift, take it, use it, cleanse your body of their energy in whatever way you need to, and don't ask them again. Invite other people in who have what you need, who do not expand that sort of energy with you because they're feeding you. So here's another thing. If somebody comes up to you, and this is really important, if somebody comes up to you and they say, "Oh, I know exactly how you feel," turn and walk away. They don't. Especially if it's a stranger. If someone asks you questions like, "Are you okay?" ignore them. If someone is talking about your bodily functions or your body around you, ignore them and leave. Do not listen to that person. There's no reason why they should. You are supposed to talk about your body. So if you have a doctor who every single time you go in refuses to talk about your symptoms but wants to know about your personal life, get a new doctor. There are so many feeders in the healthcare system. There are so many people who signed up to be nurses or doctors because they wanted access to people who were in need. Those people, you can see them right away. And kids will do that. It's the kind of people who come in to a room trying to make a kid happy when they're about to get a shot, or talking about emotions so that that kid can get excited before they put a needle in. It's fucked up. And they continue that behavior. Trust yourself. So now she's literally standing across the yard from me, pretending to have a conversation with some guy. And now she's moving her mouth, but she probably isn't even saying anything. And she literally is not saying anything. She's just staring at me. She wants me to take a picture of her because this is all about her, and she's been here for a week.